following material contains strong language and adult content. Please be advised.
This is the Comfortably Poor Podcast. An uncensored, wide open, anything and everything goes podcast. You won't find anything like it. And why is that? Because the Comfortably Poor Podcast keeps it 100. Let's go.
Yeah,
right,
boy.
live? Can I make my friends live?
Holy shit.
I want to make fun friends live. We can't keep that shit off the podcast. That shit's golden.
You guys are ridiculous.
What's up, fellas? Happy Thursday. I'm
Bushfires.
trying to get my fucking pot right here so I can,
He's trying to get his
be in
dick
good
sucked.
spirits.
It's Thirsty Thursday.
You already know, baby.
He's happy. We're happy. We're hoping all
yeah.
of you are happy.
I just found out my dog has arthritis in her neck. She's getting old as shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
get that glucosamine.
Hell yeah.
Start her on a diet of glucosamine and some pain pills.
I gotta be the old man and hold her plate up so her neck is not bending all the way down.
Oh, you got to get her that tall dog food bowl. You know a way to tell when you might be an addict? When you're sitting there and you have these pain pills for your dog and his arthritis, and you contemplate how many of those you need to take to equivalent to an OxyContin.
I was literally thinking this is how I know you and I are both fucking crazy because I was literally feeling the pills yesterday because one of the pills that she's taking right now is coming in a regular like capsule that we see it in. And I'm just like, what would happen if I just took like 4 or 6 of these back? What would happen to me?
I used to have to give my dog these pain pills, and they were like, I can't remember what they're called, but it was a name that I had heard before, and I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure this is like a form of a pain pill you can give a human. It just must be a lighter dose. Like they're not giving this full dose to a dog. It was like Trazodone or something, or Trazana or something. I don't know, but I was just like, I bet that I could take a couple of these and have a good fucking night.
Listen, if it's good for our dogs, it's good for us.
It's gotta be,
That's what
right?
I've learned.
It's gotta be.
Yeah.
I mean, glucosamine,
Yeah, it's
we take
gotta be.
glucosamine.
It has to be.
Here comes the speaker of knowledge out of nowhere. He's the wise one of the group.
It has to be. Let's take it.
Yeah. So
Eat
there's
dog food
there's your fun. I've tried like milk bones
That's
and
the way we
shit.
started off today.
I've tried milk bones.
At CPPod100 on Twitter and all over the social media sphere. That's our anchor as well. Check out new episodes typically every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Interview tomorrow, and I have an interview on Monday. More so, not interviews, but more so sit-downs. So make sure you're open for that. Couple things we're getting to today. I definitely want Adam to at some point bring up his. He had found a story about Jennifer Lopez, who's talking about men over 30, I believe it was, saying that men aren't ready. We got to do that. And I also wanted to share a story today about the time that I did a prank on a girl, on one of my exes, where I had to buy her. I actually had to give and buy her ticket to come and see me because of the prank that I played on her. That's a story I would love to share today. And we also want to share some more, kind of wild relationship stories, whatever. And however we lead into it. And I know these guys here, Brando's in Australia, so they'll cut your dick off if you smoke some pot. So I'm going to do all the smoking pot for them. And for you, if you are a smoker,
And I'm old, so I don't smoke anymore.
and he's old, he likes to drink, sip one. Fucking faggo.
Fascinating.
Brando,
I'm sorry?
when do you come back to normal civilization?
Never. But I will be back in the United States on January 9th or so. Or so.
Boy. You going to the Shy or
Bro, I'm going to be in Chicago for probably a day or two, and then I'm headed east. All things being equal. I mean, unless some real money lands in my pocket, shit.
So you what is it like over there? What's the weather like right now? Is it hot?
Yeah, it's in the upper 80s right now. Yesterday,
God damn.
yesterday it got to about 98 in the afternoon, cooled down to 96 in the evening. And this is nothing, dude. Wait until we get into December, and then January is the hot month. We've got a thing with bushfires, which is part of the reason I was absent yesterday. Bushfires. I woke up with the house full of smoke.
I did see something about this. What's up?
Yeah, I woke up.
Are
with
you
the
smelling
house
it
full
in
of
your house?
smoke, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And everyone's like, yeah, there's a fire that they are getting like current tense. Present tense, getting under control 10 kilometers.
It's not under control, folks.
From
It's
town.
not over.
Yeah, no, not quite. But that's not even the worst of it. That not only are they getting a fire under control 10 kilometers from town, there's one that's been burning out of control that's literally, that you can not only see, but you can smell about, 3 hours drive from here. And it's burned like several hundred kilometers worth of countryside so far.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And the funny thing is, like, and it's not funny, but you know what I mean. Like, it's coming from a strange variety of sources. First one is the heat, obviously. The heat. And I've mentioned a couple times how we've been in a 7-year drought, which is pretty bad. So everything's dry, heat, fire, obviously. And then you got Australia seems to be breeding its own little clan of firebugs down here. And they seem to be started young. A 9-year-old boy was caught starting a fire, I think like 4 days ago.
No.
Yeah, man.
Them niggas.
Hey, we just had a thing like that.
Arson out the pussy.
2 years ago at 4th of July, there was a kid. So about 30 minutes east of me, you kind of get into the forest. You kind of start getting up into the mountains. And there was a kid up there. And at the 4th of July, he threw a smoke bomb over like the edge of a kind of like a little cliff or whatever.
Yeah.
And the smoke bomb caught fire. It was dry as shit. It caught fire. And it ended up burning down a huge part of like a major part of like it's not a national park, but it's like a local like state park thing, and like really close to, we have this huge waterfall here called Multnomah Falls, and like shut down part of the Multnomah Falls and burned down all these trees. It was like one kid, and he didn't get any jail time, but to pay back, they ended up charging him with like fines and all this other shit. He has to pay back like $35.5 million.
What?
And he's only 15 years old.
15.
He's only 15 years old. I was like, he's never going to pay that back.
He's never going to be able to do that.
You can take a little bit out of his paycheck when he starts working over time, but he'll never pay that shit back.
Well, then that just means he's in debt for life. He's indebted for life.
Yeah.
But unless, of course, I mean...
Well, then serves him right. Don't start fires, you little prick.
I actually agree with Dan. I totally agree with Dan.
Fucking
seriously,
little
what the fuck
bastard.
are you doing, dude?
So
He could have
tired of
literally
these
killed
little
hundreds
kids,
of
man.
people. He could have literally killed hundreds of people.
Dude.
Really, at the end of the day, he should be a person who should really be inspired by his fuck up to be rich. Like, he hopefully should be out there,
like,
playing a lottery, trying to
Or
be
throw yourself
Evacuate
nose dive into the
one of those
fucking
crazy
fire.
things. Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, like
And then
trash can in the stand.
They didn't find out who it was until like, almost the end of the year. Like it took them 6 months. To
I
find out
remember
who it
that.
was.
I remember that.
It was a crazy story.
Because they were like, they couldn't believe that kids had started it.
And it like had gone across somehow. Like it gone across, I think, or they were saying that it could affect people even on the Washington side because it was right along the Columbia River. So they were like people in Vancouver and eastern parts.
Well,
of
that's what I was
Vancouver
gonna
were affected by it and shit.
Weren't there some fires last year, or was that just in Canada? Was that just in Vancouver by itself? This was in August.
Washington got pancakes
of 2018.
Canada
I remember.
And Oregon. Oregon had massive fires.
Okay.
And then Canada had massive fires. And
That's
Washington
what I thought.
was just getting the fucking
Dude, our air
haze.
quality was fucking asshole.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
It was
I heard
bad.
all about that. I remember hearing all about it. Yeah.
It was. I remember leaving the apartment in the morning, and it didn't hit until you got more to like downtown. So like went more north in Seattle is when it would really started hitting. But boy, you can definitely tell the thickness in the air of the fucking smoke, and it's like, man, if you think about a kid starting that. And how it's affecting people around you and going to, people with asthma and people, come on. That's just some senseless bullshit.
Hell yeah.
Senseless bullshit.
And like at 15 years old, how do you not know, like in this story that I was talking about, that a smoke bomb is not going to start some kind of fire? You're throwing it down in July. Like, sure, we get a lot of rain, but July and August, it's pretty fucking dry around here. We have just as much dry grass as anywhere else, and that shit goes up real fast. Real fast. So it was crazy that shit even happened.
Have you guys ever dealt with anything fire related?
Mostly I've dealt with like teenage
that was
arsonists.
Fearing?
Fear? No, I don't fear fire. But
Yeah,
I do.
Not fear, but like a house fire starting, or did you know of?
My mom.
I don't want to burn.
My mom. I always grew up with my mom.
Me too.
Telling us like there's two things you don't do in a house. You don't play with fire, and you don't play with electricity. Those are the two things you just do
Brando
not
goes to
fuck
his
with.
room to roast a bull.
Bro, don't fuck with that shit. You stay the fuck away from that crazy ass shit.
Yeah, my fear, I don't want to burn and I don't want to drown. I think drowning would suck because it's that like panic of, oh my God, what am I going to do? I can't breathe. I'm just down here until I pass out and die. No, fuck that. And then
I
fire,
actually would
you're
rather
just gonna
burn than I would rather burn than drown, honestly.
I mean, if I had to pick, I would probably
If I had to pick, I would
probably
go drown.
Because
No,
you're
I'll
just
go
going to
burn.
pass out.
That feeling, that idea.
Of your burning
you know when you
skin.
even burn yourself in the kitchen and you burn your finger and you burn your bone and for weeks it's hurting. It's like
I don't
it's
put
like
my dick on the burner, so I don't know about that.
Well, here's the thing though. It's kind of so like when you're actually burning, like when you are in a place that's on fire, most of the people who die from that sort of shit die from smoke inhalation. So you're gonna pass out long before the pain gets to the point where you're like screaming without being able to take a breath. You just won't be able to take
Yeah, but you're
breath
still
and
gonna
pass
feel
out.
it. You're
gonna feel it while you're gonna feel it while you're conscious. Yeah.
You hear people talk
Which
about,
is why
their skin is melting and shit.
the worst. Yeah, if you had here's the thing, right? I've actually came up with this idea, right? What can you imagine a person who's inside who's got their head
is so
in
unhealthy.
fresh air? It's a beautiful, wonderful day. They've got their head out of a box, but the rest of their body's in a box, and in the box is like burning logs that's burning the rest of their
being
body.
in the box.
That's great. Would you want to be in this box?
No.
You don't want the head out of your box.
You don't want to be in a burning box, do you, with your head, smelling fresh air.
I'd rather be smelling fresh air. Yeah.
Yeah. Would you rather the rest of you be on fire?
No.
Right, but that's
I don't
want to
burn. I'd rather
in the Middle East.
That's exactly what you're
burn.
talking about, right? Those are the type, but that's actually not nearly as common as the people who die in fires dying from smoke inhalation. I'm good. I'm good. I'll deal with the fire. I do not want to drown.
So you know those those burn victims, and they go like the ICU, and forever their skin is so fucked, and you tell their hair was just completely burnt. You would rather that I would just rather not be able to breathe the water and just instantly die. Like I don't want to feel torture.
But no.
That's
hang
why
on.
I always say
no. That's against the premise of what we were talking about. We're saying which way would you rather die? I'm assuming that we're just gonna die outright. If I have to die one way,
I just specifically said I don't want to be tortured.
Oh well, when it comes to torture,
I don't want to be a fire is torture.
No, when it comes to torture,
with a kid,
something.
I went to school with a kid that in middle school, it was like middle school. Well, I went to a school that was like K through 8th grade. So he was an 8th grader, and I was probably like 2nd or 3rd grade. And this kid his family's house caught on fire. When he was a young kid, he got scared, whatever, he hid under his bed. And he burned, like a lot of him burnt. And so like half of his, like parts of his face, maybe not half, but like parts of his face, one whole side of his body, like he walked funny because like his leg had burnt and like they had to take all these different skin grafts. And I remember as a 2nd or 3rd grader, whatever that is, like 7, 8, 9, somewhere in that ballpark, like I couldn't help but stare at him. Like it almost creeped me out. Like, and he was only in 8th grade, so a little bit older than me, 13 years old.
It's definitely fucking frightening what the idea of fires do.
Yeah, man, I was just like, wow.
It's
anybody
ever?
Fuck. And I know this is kind of a random shot in the dark here. I'm pretty sure no one has, but I might as well ask. Anyone ever been waterboarded, or had that simulated for them?
No.
So like, the idea of drowning, I think a lot of people don't understand what comes with drowning. I'm good on the drowning. I do not. Drowning is something I've had nightmares about drowning for a long while.
Me too. I wake up and I'm hyperventilating, trying to catch my fucking air. Oh my god.
Fire doesn't bother me nearly as much. If I'm gonna be tortured by something, or die, torture or die, either way, I'll deal with the fire. The drowning.
This is why I've always said
deal with.
I'd rather live in the city than have the possibilities of getting shot, or than live in the country where I'm playing in my backyard and a bear just wants to come up and snap my neck, or a mountain lion wants to come up and snap my neck. You know what I mean? Like, the idea of being tortured and eaten alive, like, I'd rather a bullet just fucking go through the wrong shit and just fucking kill me instantly than just this animal just sitting there using me for food for 3 hours.
Assuming that you do die instantly. I mean, if a bullet hits you in the right part of your spine,
no, of course.
Paraplegic.
Yeah. But I'm saying,
there's a show
the
on
outcomes
Discovery. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I'm just saying the outcome, like, the possibility of living. This animal is mawing me, and I know that there's no coming back from this shit. Like, I'm food.
Like, wild animals is kind of a crazy thing. Like, there was a show on Discovery, like a couple years ago, and it was called Project Grizzly. And it was this dude that he's known as, like, the bear guy or the bear man or something, and he's known for raised multiple bears.
Only white people, by the way. Only white people.
Wait.
No Hispanic or black people would ever do this shit, okay?
He's known for what?
He's known for raising, like, bears from, like, domestic. Like a lot of times it's he takes a bear that maybe was abandoned or something happened to it, and he takes them when they were cubs. He'll hand feed them. And so they're very domesticated. And so Discovery did a whole show on this guy with these 2 bears that he had, Bob and Screech. That was the 2 bears. And he was trying to rehab them because he had them for like 10 years, 12 years now. And he was wanting to put them back out into the wild. And so, but they were lazy fucking bears. They were fucking Yogi bears. They were sitting around eating, hamburger buns and hamburger patties and canned salmon that he was feeding them on the regular, like. And so he had to fucking train them. And so he took them out into this like 1,000-acre piece of property with like a stream running through it. And I got hooked, man. I got hooked on the first fucking episode. It was kind of like the stupidest show, but I got fucking hooked because these grizzly bears were fucking hilarious. It was like watching circus bears trying to learn how to live in the wilderness for the first time. And I was like, these are the stupidest fucking bears, but they're so fucking funny. Like, I was like, this guy's never going to succeed at this. But at the same time, he said, like, obviously I couldn't see this, but these bears, like, when they were standing up, they were 10, 12 feet tall. These were big ass fucking grizzly bears, man. Yeah. And full grown. But they were goofy. They were big, just goofy, come as you go bears. Like, and he was hugging them. He was high-fiving them. He was like doing all this crazy shit with them. I was like, bro, that's a grizzly bear. Run, fool. What are you doing? Like, this motherfucker can swipe at you in 1 second and take your whole face off. It's like crazy. Like bears.
Yeah. Bears are powerful creatures, and maybe this is some hunting tips. Here comes survivalist Brando. If you are ever out in Montana or wherever bears are, and you don't have a weapon, and you can't, defend yourself, get on the ground, lay face down.
Play dead.
Spread your legs, and lay still. Don't move. And whatever you do, don't let them turn you over. Do not let them fucking turn you over. Just lay still.
That's my rule of thumb for anything. Don't let them turn you over. Don't let them flip your ass over.
Yeah. If you're in jail, if you're bank robbins, you don't want to be turned over, my G.
You're violent if you're hunting down grizzly bears, whatever it is. Don't let them flip you over.
There's a rule. Tell me our man Bank Robbins doesn't sound like somebody who would definitely shake some hands, shake some paws with bears.
Maybe.
Anything's possible. He sounds white.
That calm demeanor of white man are the type that would do this kind of shit. I remember that dude. He would go up to the bear. He'd be like, yeah, man, hey, how you doing, bear? What's up, buddy? And it's like, what the fuck?
And they would come to his voice. That was the crazy. They'd be down at like this creek just playing in the water, and he'd be Bob Screech, Bob Screech. Here they come trucking down the hill. Like, what's up, buddy? How's it going? You brought any fish for us?
Do they put these shows on the air? Do they put these shows on the air for us savages?
Because we want to see an attack, right?
That we see something happens, right? Like, it's like why we saw Steve Irwin and doing the fucking crocodile shit. My question, man, I wish we could see that nigga get killed. That was the whole point of the show.
My whole question is that did you ever see that was never aired, right? When he got hit with the stingray, that never.
It was recorded, but it was never aired. Yeah,
it was never aired. Okay.
They eventually people aired it.
They did? When? Where?
Not on a show. I think it was like a "this is how it happened" type of thing. Like they didn't air when the stingray actually got him.
The actual,
But they aired like up until that point, and then it was like a tribute type of thing. Like they did for him one time. They were talking about while he was on the boat and talking about the stingrays, and then they just never showed the actual part where he got in the water.
Bruh, you see what I'm saying? Like, why didn't they show that? Like, as eerie as it is. That's the only reason you put that show on television.
Yeah. There's different. It's interesting though because there are different rules for fighting for surviving different animal attacks. So, a bear, you essentially lay dead, spread your legs, don't let them turn you over. That's not the same for like a cougar. You know what I mean? Like, or a mountain lion, puma. Pick your terminology. Like that, and the reason why it's different is because they eat dead animals. They don't give a fuck. Like, if you're just laying there, a puma will come up to you and just tricep, So listen.
Like in Desperate Times, that would be Brando too. He'd come up to you.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, listen. I am not opposed. I'm not opposed to any. I will survive by any means necessary. I'll eat you. I'll eat your baby. I don't give a fuck.
No, I believe that everything is survival, bro. You got to do shit out of survival, my nigga. If we are the last niggas on earth, we are getting the fattest nigga in group. I'm sorry, bro. You're losing a leg today. We cooking.
Yo, that reminds me of
Stop fucking around.
Was it you guys that I was talking to about this? There was the airplane crash of the soccer team that was going from I think it was Argentina to Colombia or whatever, and they crashed the Andes
Yes.
Mountains at like 15,000
Yes.
feet of elevation, and they ended up eating some of the passengers
Yes.
that died.
Yes.
Yo, I'm telling you, brother, that shit is some hardcore shit. But that's the shit I'm on, bro. I'm going to live.
That's survival. That's survival, bro.
If
You
I gotta
cannot
eat, if I gotta eat
call
one of y'all
that
fat ass
anything
tender
else.
niggas, and that's the thing, it
You
takes all types to make
fat
the world go
niggas.
round. So all y'all motherfuckers sitting in chairs all day long, y'all not nice and soft and shit, man, buddy, it's on if we ever get into some shit, daddy. It's
we went through Sandy in New Jersey, and a couple days without electricity. And I remember the joke going forward because I had TiVo at that time. I already had TiVo at 6 months at this point. I'm like, yo, if we ran out of food supply, TiVo would have to go. She's the healthiest out of all of us. We just got to make sure we beefing her up.
a little bit of Vietnamese food.
All right,
boy.
after the dog, who goes, baby? Yeah, man. After we have some fine Asian cuisine.
Hell yeah, some of that Asian buffet.
What do we do?
Yeah.
Kung Pao Tiva.
Yo, Kung Pao Tiva, and then a little bit of that long pork, motherfucker.
Kung Pao Tiva.
He said la long pork though.
That long pork.
What an idiot.
Yes.
This is the Comfortable Poor podcast, people. If you want to comment on anything that we've been talking about so far, burning or drowning, eating people, whatever you want to talk about, hit us up. Phone lines are open. Phone lines are open right now, 442-244-9900 or toll free 844-997-0775. Hit us up. We are here at CP Pod 100 across all social media platforms as well. Twitter is
That's why I love the lives. Because none of this was planned. That's why this shit is so fire. Because none of this shit right here, the last 20 minutes of chat was not spoken about today. I just want to make that very clear.
That is I think that's the premise behind all of our shows in general. I think most of the people don't understand that. I think the people think that, oh, we're here, we scour the internet for stories. Like, sure, we get stuff that come across our phones or we find some shit online, but the premise of this podcast when we got together a couple months ago was like, we just want to sit down in front of some microphones and speak our mind about whatever. And basically,
Chat
like we
shit,
said in our
bro.
description, we want to say all the shit that everybody's thinking, but just doesn't want to say it because it's too offensive or whatever. Like, people are too soft today. Like, we speak our mind, like it or leave it, period. You're either going to fuck with us or you're not. And
Yeah.
that's just the way it is. I mean,
I love myself and I hate myself. So there's no way to attack me. You can't upset me. So let me upset you a little bit.
That's just it. I mean, like, my mom was a very outspoken person. Not very outspoken, but she didn't let anybody say anything about herself, or she didn't really care what people thought or said. And that's the same thing. Like, if I'm going to say something on here, I don't care what you think. I don't care if I hurt your feelings. I don't care if you disagree. It's my opinion. Like, I'm still
Okay,
gonna
can
be
we do
me. I'm still
the
gonna
gender
be me.
neutral story of the week then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Neutral story. Okay.
I saw a post today.
Binary.
I guess some social
Not binary.
poll was done, and we see about 27%, which is, I think, is a decent number. They would like to see a gender neutral Santa Claus. They feel
What?
that spreading the holiday cheer and saying that it can't be a woman who does it is, wrong. So just why don't we make everybody happy, right? Take me off this planet.
Part of me wonders
Why
if this is
does
just like some sort of
everything have to
conspiracy
be-
for
Why do you
fat
have to fuck
bitches
with
to
all the
have an extra
traditions?
job. That's what I think.
So
Fat
is
bitches want
Jesus
extra
Christ
job.
a girl?
Maybe.
There's gonna be people are gonna say so.
Hell yeah. Great.
Is he white?
I hope
Is he
they
black?
do.
Is he
no,
Mexican?
no,
Is he
no. I hope
Asian?
they do. If they start saying Jesus Christ is a girl, this is going to be the number one nail in the coffin.
This is
going
gonna
to
be amazing
for Christianity. This is going to be great.
This is when it starts
Jesus
getting
was a girl.
really
Nail in the
wild.
palm.
I need Christians to start coming out and saying that Jesus Christ.
It's not gonna. It's not gonna
needs
be
to
the brother
be-
Timothy's though. It's gonna be moderate Christians.
No.
who say shit.
It's
like
gonna
this.
be
It's
the
not gonna be
left-leaning,
hardcore conservatives.
more the middle, the centrist, right?
But why does this even have to be a thing? Why have we really gotten to this point in our society?
But that's the
that
thing.
Santa Claus can't be Santa Claus that he's been for hundreds of years.
We've had this
fat dude.
conversation before, bro.
Hey, yo, look,
we,
I'm not
we
gonna
just have
lie,
to
though.
understand that this is just a different era. Like the social media era is actually to baby those really sensitive feelings. We were lucky to grow up in a time where, you know, words really, you didn't really take stock in words. You really saw how niggas fucked with you. And if some nigga came up and fucked with you, wanted to throw some hands, you just responded that way. But it wasn't like, oh, you call. Like, I remember being like, people were like, oh, I got bullied because I was called names. Like, what? What? In second grade,
look.
niggas was calling me blind boy. You think that was bothering me? In second grade, that was not bothering me. There was something about it that it just didn't even pierce through me. But when the kid that got offended at me for got mad at something I said to him, he came up and started to try to choke me out. That's when you respond, right? We live in a different era. Now, if you get hands thrown upon, you go home and commit suicide.
It's Santa Claus, bro. Listen, if a fat bitch wants to be Santa Claus, I would have been happier to sit on her lap than a nigga's lap that I was forced to sit on when I was younger. If this fat bitch wants to be Santa Claus, I'm going to crawl in your lap and feel all over your titties. You better hope there's some felt, you know, the fake beard, you know, your big-ass fucking lips.
Bro,
whatever.
I would be like,
Man.
why is Mrs. Claus not in this seat for the boys and Santa?
I'd be like, why is Mrs. Claus not wearing a bra? My mom does.
Like,
Fuck. Jesus, bitch.
Why has Mrs. Claus got all these dollars in her painting line? What is going on
Holy
here?
shit, man. Christmas come early.
What is this? No, but I mean, my problem is that these things are happening more with this soft ass Gen Z.
it's becoming more of a
generation.
conversation.
And the problem is these Gen Zers want to come in and change tradition. They feel empowered by whatever it is. They're being empowered in
Social
school
media,
that
having
women,
access
men-
to
social
so
media,
much
yes,
information and
social
knowing
media.
that they can take control of their bodies and they can take control of their
Yes.
and these
And I'm
decisions.
fine
And now
with some
that
of this
all this
stuff.
stuff
I'm
is
fine
open,
with that.
yeah.
But certain shit is traditions. Quit trying to change every goddamn tradition where there's a male aspect and a female aspect. Okay, look, I'm glad you brought this up. So this is a big thing, right? Okay. So the Little Mermaid live action came out a couple months ago. And I apologize, I don't remember the woman's name who's playing her, but they had a black actress playing Ariel. And it set the social media world into a frenzy. People started having a complete conniption because it was a black
I remember this.
woman playing a white character. So now the other thing is, just recently,
Julia
they made
Roberts.
this new Harriet Tubman movie.
Oh yes.
And one
yes!
movie executive said Julia Roberts should have played Harriet Tubman. Like, we're in this age that's a problem for people. Who cares? Let a black woman play a white person. if
Just
need be.
let a person play whatever. If
just-
they're a good
yes.
actress, just let them play the part.
Or why does it matter? Like, why does it change?
I agree.
If Ariel is a white woman and you're just recreating, just let it be a white person. Why does it need to be a black person to make everybody happy? Why does it just drives me crazy? Everybody's so sensitive to all these topics and subjects that everything needs to be so neutral and even for everybody, and it's racist if Ariel is white and not black, and how come the black actors didn't get the white part? It's crazy.
What was the Quentin Tarantino film? I know he's an animal, all right, but I don't want to speculate that he's a racist.
Awesome.
But he did a film 6 years ago, 7 years ago. It was a slave film, and there was a heavy use of the N-word. It was Django. I was right. I didn't want to be wrong.
Yeah, Django Unchained.
Okay, so Django, and with the hard R was used in there, and then they wanted to start speculating that this guy was fucking a racist. And I'm like, he's doing a film about slavery.
Yeah. And Jamie Foxx.
It's what happened.
Was okay with it. A black man was okay with it.
It's deciding what people like. This is so fucking frustrating. It's like you can't take a situation and peg a person a certain way because they depict a story the way it was.
But then 12
That's
Years a Slave,
crazy.
nobody said
That's
anything about 12 Years a Slave, which was the same thing.
Exactly my point.
Nobody said anything about 12 Years a Slave.
They just want to be picky choosy. They decide who they want to fucking pick on. They wanted to call Quentin Tarantino a racist because the N-word was used in a slave movie. Fucking give me a break. Suck my dick.
Yeah, I agree.
That's insane.
And people are going to want to call us racist. Oh, you don't want black people to play white people roles. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying, what does it matter? Why? Sure, if the black person is better than the white person.
Just watch the movie.
Then fine. Yeah.
And if you don't like the movie,
are better than white people at acting.
The what?
I mean, black people have killed the entertainment game. They have made entertainment what it is.
Sorry to say that,
but this is the same thing. This is the same conversation. I'm sorry to bring it here, but this is the same conversation that we have about the blind actors and actresses, and this is a big debate in the blind community about how
this is happening right now with the blind. Show C.
Yeah, blind people should play blind parts, and I agree to a certain extent. We like everything else, we can't just hand out jobs.
Yeah, I agree.
If there's a person,
look,
we can't just hand out jobs to anybody, man.
Hang on.
Just because you're blind, you can't be the actor for this fucking show.
I totally agree, and totally blind people shouldn't be snipers either. So I mean, that's shooting fish in a barrel. But the gray area is blind. Can blind people do sighted roles? Absolutely. And so I think it would be more apt to say, let's not give people roles they can't fulfill. I mean,
right.
And when we're talking about blind people, we got to remember that blindness, just like being hearing impaired, is on a spectrum. I'm technically blind, but I cross streets all the time because I can see traffic and see lines in the street to do so. Limited, but the vision's there. So I don't know. I think blind people can do certain roles, but there are also blind people who have more vision than me who would suck at a lot of these sighted roles, and there's totally blind people who suck at some of the totally blind roles. I don't know. I think people should do what they're fucking good at.
I think there's like certain.
That's what I'm saying.
Kind of like what you're saying.
But if there's a sighted person who's better than any of the blind people, I'm sorry, Adam. Give me 1 second.
No,
if there's a sighted person who's better than than any of the blind people who auditioned, she or he deserves that role.
Or sighted.
People.
If you outact the sighted person too. So
if you're a good actor, you deserve the role, whether you're blind or you're sighted. But this shouldn't be, because it's a blind thing, it's mandatory that it needs to be a fucking blind person.
Hang on. But again, that's kind of why I'm switching up the wording a bit, because I'm saying fulfill the role. If you need a blind guy to do whatever let's say you have a blind surfer or some sort. I don't know. I can't, pick whatever role it is, whatever the role is supposed to be. Who no one's going to fall down and run into shit as good as a totally blind person does on a normal basis. Like that. Now, if there's some extra element that you need that sighted person to be there for, I guess, then yeah, absolutely. But I think whatever it is that you need that role to do, like that job to be or do, like that's the person you want to do that job. That's part of the reason why Bruce Lee was so successful at what he did. Not because he was Asian, because he knew how to fight. He knew how to fight in real life. So he was able to bring movies to life. Chuck Norris, same concept. There are a lot of actors who learn how to do these fight scenes and make up shit. And they don't really know how to fight in real life. They just know what they scripted out. And they're good actors, so it works. But what works even better is someone who actually knows what the fuck they're actually doing.
Right. Well, so in 2005, I just looked this up just to make sure I had my time right. In 2005, there was a show that came out, and it was a stupid show. But it was a show that was called Blind Justice.
It's about the blind cop,
It was
right?
a blind New York cop.
Yeah.
And it was the worst show possible because the guy was sighted and he was trying to play a blind role. And he did all the stereotypical things, like walked with his hands out in front of him all the time. Like he just did all the things that that just were like very stereotypical and just kind of the things that would piss us off as
pretty much. Just
as
stereotyping
blind
the shit out of the blind label is pretty much what he did.
Yeah. But it was one of those things that, like, did you even attempt to try and fill that role by blind people? Like, maybe there's definitely a pool of blind actors and actresses. Like, did they even get a shot at that? Because
but bro, look,
the person that you picked for that completely blew it. You could have had a good show there.
Could have, yeah. Here's the thing though: there are blind policemen today. For sure. Like, that's not an unheard of thing. Now they're not out there kicking in doors and pulling guns on people.
I was about to say, how are we a cop?
Blind cops. They are blind cops that interview people.
Are they more office desk
interrogations.
junkies, or whatever?
Well, they're more hands off, if you will. They do interviews. They do interrogations. They ask questions. Filing, answering phones, filling out papers. Some of them do limited forensic work on a computer or whatever. It's not like these things don't happen, but if you're going to get a person who gets involved in that way, I do think talking to some of those blind cops that do that shit, even some of the blind
appreciated
people that do
that right there.
Oh,
yeah.
Hold on a minute. I want to definitely back you up on that. I am all for teaching and kind of guiding, you know what I'm saying? Showing how something is done the right way, going to the proper people who live this life. I think I shared this guys before. I helped a guy who was going to audition for a part he was trying to get into a very big acting college in New York. And he needed to play, for one of his auditions, he needed to play a blind person. And so they tapped me to hang with him for a little bit and kind of display how we just normally live through life. Just something as mundane, something he would have overreacted about with, like, sitting in a chair. And this whole fumbling around before you sit in a chair, right? And I'm like, no, it's not even like that, bro. You just back up, feel in the back of your legs, and you sit your ass down, homie. You know what I mean? You don't gotta even worry about it. It's nothing to think about, right? So these things, that small things that were over exaggerated, I was so happy that I can teach somebody that if you are gonna be tapped to play this type of role, it doesn't need to be so overdone. You know what I'm saying? But I want to make sure that I put this out there because I don't want to make it sound like I'm shitting on blind actors at all. There is a blind actors school now. So blind actors class. So if you ever wanted to actually be in the front of those lines of the auditions and kick ass in auditions and shit, you can apply to this class right now, and I'll make sure to put that link somewhere on our social media for you.
Speaking of auditions, I wanted to talk about this for a second, and you don't have to, Dan, if you don't want to, but you're someone that's, you and big shout out to Sam, who supports the show. You guys have gone through some auditions as blind people. You guys are big in the music and music talent, and you guys have tried out for the American Idol and Voice type shows. What is that audition process like? I know we've kind of talked about that before, and I think we even did a little podcast about that back in the day on my other show. But what is that process like as a blind or visually impaired person?
It is, it's pretty dope, kind of with my situation because and I think hers as well, because we were kind of linked already in there. And well, first of all, the voice was my doing. So, but the dopest part was I got to be in the front of the line and I didn't even know about it until we started shuffling into the building. But I will say, as I've heard about for many years, I always heard.
Wait. You got to be to the front of the line because of the visual impairment? Like they shuffled you to the front? Oh, okay.
Hell yeah. Get in front of the line. Let's give all the paperwork that we had to fill out. It's a perk. It's dope. Okay. It's just like anything else, man. And I'm always going to take those things. But the American Idol situation that Sam and I had, we had that together. We had a friend that was able to get us to the first round of producers and get us right in. So she made it further, but for the voice, for me, I had a love-hate relationship for the audition process because they bring 10 people into one of those like box seats. Mm-hmm. Because it's at an arena that they're doing this at most of the time. So they take about 10 people into a box seat with a producer of the show. And you're performing in front of these 9 other people plus the producer. And I didn't get a call back. My whole thought process was, this guy is going to pick, if he likes rock music more than R&B. I sang an R&B record. If he likes rock music in his everyday life, he's going to pick the rocker, the rocker that sounded really good within those 10 people before he ever picks an R&B guy. So it's subjective. It's subjective garbage.
Even though they're going to say, oh, well, our producers keeps it 100%.
Yeah. But it's subjective. Neutral. It's all subjective. If there's a producer there who likes R&B, he's going to pick the perfect R&B singer in that crowd.
So what'd you sing?
He's going to be like, damn, he sounds good. I sang Music Soul Child's Love.
Yeah, boy.
My man.
Awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So shed a little more light on this. Like what? So you said you made it a little bit further on The Voice than you did American Idol?
So the American Idol, our friend got us in. Sam made it far. I sang. We were singing in this open fucking arena space, and they were doing construction and dragging shit across the thing. I got gypped out of my audition.
Okay.
Because it was so distracting to be singing in front of a table at people you don't know while people are dragging shit around you and doing shit around you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So
like how many rounds
American Idol
shit?
experience
like, what do we don't see?
American Idol is 3.
Okay.
Before you see the judges. So it's the one that I did. You have a first round and then you have a second round. Like that's your last round before you see the judges. And then the judges are your fourth round.
So you do all this. This is all done on one day, or is this spread out over a few days?
So you come back. So you come back the next day. You come back next day. You do the second audition, and if you get a call back, you stay there to find out if you get a call back to sing for the other producers. I believe is how it worked. And then if those turn you down, then you go home that day.
Okay. Let's go to the phone lines real quick. I think we got. This might be Sam. It doesn't tell me. Let's see. Yo, comfortably bored. I guess they're not there.
I don't know. Is she up on the board?
Yeah.
No.
Yo, there you are.
Hello.
Okay, there you go.
There you are.
Oh.
What's up, Sam?
Hi.
I was like, damn. So, yeah, he was, everything he has said up to this point is 100% correct. They really did jip him out of his Idol audition. It was bad. I went back the next day. I did a second audition. And then I waited, and I actually got to the producer's round of callbacks. So this is right before you do your interview and for weeks before you meet the judges. Little secret, you never meet them there that day.
Of course.
But when I got to the producer's round, because it was the final season, mind you, I only auditioned for Idol because it was the final season.
Hey, by the way, it's coming back.
But
It's already back.
yeah. Spoiler
back.
alert. Final season, my ass. But they said.
But listen to this
they wanted
excuse.
it
That's why I said that,
this
because I thought it was such a bullshit excuse for their final season. Listen to this.
Yep, it was. So they told me they wanted a bookend to Kelly Clarkson. And I was not it. Any other season, they would have moved me on.
Wow. Talk about a slap in the face. Jesus Christ.
I was like, fuck you. All right, bye. And it turned out that season was really, really awful. My voice, I auditioned for The Voice too, different time, different year than he did. I auditioned in 2014. And I didn't even have to go to auditions because one of my friend's cousins was the producer. So I went straight to second round. I went straight to callbacks, and which were on a completely different day. Nobody was there. I didn't have to deal with any of that line shit. It was fantastic. And then I did an interview, but then I never heard back.
So what's the difference between The Voice and American Idol? Is there any difference in their audition processes?
The Voices was better, especially the callback round. They gave you water. I know that seems like a novel concept.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty important for singers.
They were right. Hello. The Idol. I will never do the Idol audition again. Ever. It was there was
well, but that's
there,
I started out this thing.
As he said, construction.
I started out this conversation about that because for years, even in the beginning of like the start outs of American Idol, people would talk about how discombobulated and how pissed off people in the area would be because they were actually setting up tents and sleeping out and camping out for days so that they don't lose their spot in line, because that's how fucking popular it was. And it's always sounded unorganized. I will say, Voice, I was very lucky to audition for the second season, so I was like literally right there after the first season was happening because I was really into the show. I thought the idea was amazing until they actually really, of course, like any other show, make it really commercial, right? Yeah, there was some authenticity in the first couple seasons, like the first 3 seasons were beautiful. So I got to audition for the second season, but the reason why my audition will always stick out to me is because I auditioned the same day Amy Winehouse died. I came back home to the news of Amy Winehouse being dead.
Wow.
Yeah. I made it before your eyes like I was Benny Hanna's.
So why did you guys wait so long for American Idol? Why didn't you guys? Why the last season? Like, because you guys are both pretty good musicians and have been doing this for quite a few years. Really,
I never cared for it. I'm in radio. I gotta be careful, but fuck Ryan Seacrest. And
Amen.
You know how much
And,
money that guy has made just off talking, though? Crazy money.
Oh, dude.
Crazy.
I
crazy
respect the
money.
hustle.
Yeah.
I respect the hustle because these niggas use their 168 hours in a week wisely.
Yeah.
Very wisely. So I
think
respect the
thing that
hustle,
made me
but
so sad about The Voice. I'm so sorry. This delay is crazy. The thing that made me so upset
Thanks for
about The
pointing
Voice
that
was
out.
when I went to audition. Hey, it's phone. But they wanted people to be marketable. They turned into American Idol in a way. Because to add insult to injury for my audition, my best friend at the time's ex-boyfriend made it actually onto the show the same season I auditioned.
Damn.
And
a blind
Well,
guy
they have
who had already albums out. He had 4 fucking albums.
Yep.
Yeah, that what's
Thank
his
you.
name? Like Nairobi or
Blessing.
Blessing.
Oh, Blessing. That's what his name was. Blessing. Yeah. I don't know where I got
You
Nairobi
very
from.
same country, same fucking continent. There, big guy.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
It's a bit strange, dude. That sort of name reminds me of a very angry, incestuous series.
That's
that
right.
read
I
as a
remember
book.
watching it. And see,
Real shit. bro.
me and my lady, we still watch it. Like we don't watch it religiously, but if it's on, we like watch it and we're just curious to see.
Oof.
And we just had this conversation like on Monday night. There is a woman on there that can sing really, really, really well. And she is a heavier set white woman, wears grandma glasses, grandma outfit.
Why are you
She
saying
looks
this?
like another Susan Boyle. That's the description
I was gonna say
from
another Susan Boyle.
from my lady. She says she looks like another Susan Boyle, but she can sing her ass
A
off.
fat ass substitute teacher in her 40s.
Thank you. Nailed it. That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
She gets.
But I
fucked in
looked
the
at her and I
ass after
said,
work and shit.
she's not gonna make it.
Hey,
There's
yo,
no
Miss
way.
McKinney.
Miss McKinney.
Yeah. They're not gonna put her through though. Like it's just one of those.
She got
things.
the
She's
wavy ass
not gonna
skirt
make it.
on.
Hell yeah.
She thinks a sundress looks good, even though she's got a bunt.
That bitch has got like 3 moles going across her face.
I don't think
on
it's called a
marching line.
bunt. I think it's called a bun. Idiot.
No, it's a bunt.
That's a bun.
That's a
It's
cake.
it's the second
fatty.
stomach.
Oh, you're talking about a
rhymes with-
stomach.
No,
it
that's what it's
rhymes with what. It
I'm
rhymes
talking
with
about
what
the
it
second
is when
stomach.
niggas leave shit in the oven too long.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Fupa.
What they're trying to get into is exactly what. Just replace the C with a B.
Dude, that's the type of
Yeah,
bitch that
yeah,
has
yeah.
skin tags on her pussy and shit.
Oh my god.
Skin
Welcome to the
tags
Couple
on her
Chorus,
pussy
Sam.
is
You already know
wild,
what you're getting.
Brando.
Yo, I'm just saying, bro. It looks like she has
No, I
herpes,
just
but she
think
doesn't.
Anything was that top Kung Pao Diva.
Kung Pao Diva.
Listen, Kung Pao Diva is top notch today.
Yo, anybody
Brando's
ever
on his
seen that
A
movie?
game, my G.
Has anyone ever seen that movie
This
Crank?
live has a name afterwards.
No, what's Crank?
Dude, there's a movie, and I'm not a movie person. You guys know I don't watch a lot of movies. I'm a book guy.
I know. This is
But-
why I'm shocked to hear
that-
this.
yo,
from you.
look,
Where
check it out,
they
right?
inject the adrenaline into the dude's heart.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
dude. You're Adam. Do you remember
This
when
guy's
he-
a
when-
movie buff,
Do
man.
you remember
I do
when
know
that
movies.
guy got that video in his apartment? He was watching the video and found out that he had been injected. That
That he
nigga,
been
the video
injected,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Hey, yo, you whacked our done." And that's okay. We're gonna get you back. We got you. We got you with a little bit of that Chinese water. Yo, I was like, what the fuck did he just say? Rewind that.
Brando would enjoy that.
Oh, God, that was great. Yo, you got 24 hours to live, buddy. I'm sorry, Chef. I can't do much for you. You know, the doctor is probably, he's
My
been
bad.
treating Hitman his entire life. I only got 24 hours to live. I can't do this for you. I can make it comfortable for you. Nigga falls out of the helicopter and dies at the end of a movie by crashing onto the top of a car in a goddamn parking lot. Jesus.
Hey, but
Jesus.
before we let you go, Sam, thanks for calling in. But shout out your shit. Plug your YouTube or whatever. Let people
Plug it
know
up.
where they can hear your track at. 'Cause she's got some good
shit.
music. She's
All
got a
right.
solid
Yeah, she
song
does.
right now, people. Good
She's
music.
got a solid 10 songs
I
out.
cannot plug my YouTube right now because I have less than 1,000 subscribers, and it's just a bunch of fucking numbers.
Just give your social
So,
media. Just give your Twitter.
China Rose, CHYNA Rose. And Real China Rose on Twitter, Real China Rose on SoundCloud. I love you all.
Fuck with her. She's solid. Appreciate you, Sam.
Appreciate you.
As a day one supporter right
What
there.
was this Jennifer Lopez thing?
So Jennifer Lopez, wait, 442-244-9900 or toll free 844-997-0775 if you want to comment on anything that we've been talking about. Drowning, catching people on fire, eating people, eating dogs, whatever. Kung Pao Tiva. Maybe you got an American Idol voice.
All
Maybe you're
over the
someone they
place
tried
today.
out. Yeah, we've been talking a little bit of everything and anything. So hit us up. So Jennifer Lopez, though, is basically saying men don't hit their stride. Men are not men until after at least 43 years old. What do you guys think about
Was
that?
it 43 or 33?
It was 43 years
I thought
old.
it was 30.
What is that? What
No,
does that?
43
What does that
years.
mean?
I think she's trying to insinuate on the sexual level that they are more sexually ready, more of a man's man.
Tell
I
her to
guess,
call
at
me up.
43.
Tell her to call me up. I mean, I'm sure she has not had a taste of this, but I mean, I wonder, to a certain degree, it's kind of
But
like,
hold on. Her history is she was dating a 24-year-old for a while. She was a 47,
She's been married like
48-year-old
5
woman.
times.
yeah.
But she
Yeah,
was dating this guy named Casper, and I remember he was like this
Backup
24-year-old dude. And it was her backup dancer. That's right. I forgot what he was in relation to, but yeah, her backup dancer, and I think she's now just, I guess, speaking out of. This can't be her only young dude she's fucking slept.
No, definitely not. No, I feel like that's what I was gonna say. I feel like this is the same as us saying that, you know, or let's say us. Let's say me. You guys have all heard me say that I prefer to date older women, and I say, you know, I like the experience. I like the likelihood of them being more open-minded and this, that, and the other, because that's normally true. That's not always true. There are some 22-year-olds who can get down there, you know, but it's just not normally the case. And so, I mean, I can see her thinking that because, you know, maybe that has been her experience in life. But if she thinks that that is the case for all people, I mean, I granted, most guys are not out there, you know, studying sex, trying to get better, listening to, you know, most guys aren't doing that. Most guys are not paying attention. And there is a selfish streak in the male gene, no question. But for her to think that people can't develop it before 33, that 33 is some sort of magic number, that things just shift over at that point, that's just some bullshit. And like I said, my
43.
number-
So I thought
Oh,
it.
43. I'm sorry.
So she's saying 43. Yeah, I thought.
And even older.
Yeah.
Now, does this change for women being 43? Because they say women are at their sexual peak now in their later age.
Well, they
Right.
say they hit it like 38 to 45 or something, right,
38
for
to
women?
45 or so.
Yeah.
Somewhere
And that
in that
increased
ballpark.
because I remember in the mid 2000s, it was like 33 to 38.
So far as I can tell, it ranges. There's a range that starts around 30 and ends around mid 40s. And it just depends.
So
on
we're going to give a
your
ballpark
genetics.
of like
Yeah, my
35
lady's
40.
30 to
49 and it is
46
nuts.
average.
Yeah. Average. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
well, and
like-
then they've always said that men peak before women, right? Like that was the other thing too, right? Like they say men
Well, it's
peak
their early. It's their early age.
28 to 35.
That's
they
why
say, or something
20
like that.
That's why
25 to
older
30 is
women.
the
Well,
plateau.
then it must have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then it must have gotten older because I remember, you know, the always the talk by the milfs and the older women is, I want to bang, you know, that 18 to 25-year-old who
But that's kind of
who
why
can really keep me up all night long, right?
Yeah, no, but that's kind of why what Jennifer Lopez is saying only can anybody, only one person is going by some sort of subjective standard. They can only say that because not only they're saying that because they want a certain type of sex. They want sex that just keeps going and they want the Energizer Bunny. what it sounds like Jennifer
Yes.
Lopez is talking about, she wants a person to cater to her and sing to her body. And granted, but here's the thing: a lot of people don't know how to do that. A lot of people don't know how to. You know what I mean? I had to learn how, and it's not because I didn't want to do it. It's just I had to actually learn how to.
It's just if you wanted bitches to continue to sleep with you.
Listen, I made.
Then you had to actually pick up this skill. I feel you.
Science. It is a science.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and after a while, to a certain degree, like I'm not even having sex for me anymore. I'm having sex for her, and I'm getting.
I
to the
always
point where
say
it's
that
like,
this is never for me. You're gonna come first, bitch.
I'm cranking this out. You know, I'm studying what works, what doesn't. I'm taking mental notes, and that's pretty much what I think Jennifer Lopez is talking about. I don't know, you know, because she's definitely not talking about testosterone. That's what.
And let me say this again. I do apologize. I just looked the article up. It is 33. Sorry, Dan, you were right. It was 33.
Okay, 33.
For some reason, I thought I had 43 on the mind.
Okay.
So it is 33. But
So I want to say this too, though. Like, at what point do we start? And this is not to you guys. This is to everybody else. At what point do we start understanding that sex isn't about a number, but more so about your experiences, right?
quality.
Like, I've picked women that wanted me to cater to their bodies before I inserted my dick into them, right? And it's like how to not know about this, and you're just right, and it's common, but there are, you know, Brando, myself, old fucking married man Adam. I know that we had situations where we actually had to cater to the woman pleasure-wise first before we even thought about that. It was just the thing to do.
But
so the fact that she is saying, "Oh, I'm waiting till 33 to find a dude who knows how to do that," tells me that a lot of the young niggas that she fucked around with did not know how to do that.
But
so now she's just jaded.
I'm circling. I want to circle back to kind of what we were talking about. And it's weird because it kind of comes back to something we were talking about earlier. And it's weird, and people might not agree, but it something that I've noticed in our community. I wonder if it's blind people and the way we get down that allows us to know these things before later ages.
Well,
what do
you've
you
had
mean?
sex with sighted women.
No. Like experience. So you said
is that just by nature?
Right?
Like, is that just by
No. By the nature of who and what we are.
what we are? That just comes.
Yes, I think. I wonder if, and I'm not asserting.
Huh.
I'm putting it out there as a proposition. Is maybe that being blind has something to do with.
Maybe, but I know that there's like jackrabbit blind guys ready to fuck anything and anything without even thinking about.
But that's not what we're talking about. But wait, hang on. But that's not what we're talking about. Remember, we're talking about catering to a woman and taking care of a woman, from top to bottom, front to back. 10 orgasms at least, and then just.
I was just okay. So let me bring this up. So last week there was an article about Big Sean. Big Sean. People were like questioning Big Sean because he had talked about making Janae Aiko come, or Janae talked about Big Sean making her come 9 times in one night, and I was like, "This is a big deal."
Exactly. You see?
Like, I couldn't believe it was a big deal.
Most blind, and I don't know why. I don't want to put the blind thing on it, but it just feels like in our community, and it's just we're horny ass people. But I think
maybe, bro. But look, before I put my dick in, when I eat that box, you better nut 3 times.
time out.
See what I mean? Exactly.
Are you saying? Are you fucking saying that every time you have sex or get with your lady, it's gotta be multiple times?
Yes.
Like I understand a couple times.
Yes.
You're saying like
1000%.
6, 7,
Yes.
8, 9 times
Yes.
every time?
Well,
Yes.
I don't know about
Yes.
6, 7, 8.
No, I'm not saying
I
about-
do
whoa,
mean
whoa, whoa.
multiple.
I'm talking about-
I do mean multiple
I know you guys are
times, yeah.
at least 10
Hold
years
on.
younger than me. Enjoy
I'm
it while you
talking-
can, then, because when you get older, that's not going
I'm
to be the
talking
case.
about
Telling you now.
I'm not talking about me coming 4, 5, 7, 8, 9
No,
times.
I know. I'm talking
no.
about.
I'm
making
talking about her.
Yeah.
What Adam
That's
is
what I'm
alluding
talking
to
about.
is that when you get older, you get tired quicker. Is pretty much what he's saying.
Yo, my stamina
And that
is
might,
fine, but
that
I'm
might,
just saying
but
it
that,
doesn't
but
happen like
and
that.
Here's the thing, though, and that might be true.
You guys
to a
have
It's
certain
not even
cloudy
about that, bro. You don't eat the
mind.
box.
But
You don't
you-
let her.
hang on,
Oh,
hang
you
on,
don't let her.
bro.
You don't let her
Yes.
nut by
Yes,
eating the box.
Of course.
No, hang on,
but
hang on.
it's not gonna happen 7, 8, 9, 10
let's
times.
think, guys, hang on. Let's think about what actually gives us the ability to do these things. I think we're looking past something here. What gives us the ability? First off, Dan laid it out for. First off, it's experience. It is the experience of fucking up and having someone correct you. It is learning to listen to a woman and figure out what she wants. That's a big part of it. Here's the second
Facts.
thing.
Don't be
Yeah,
afraid to
hang on,
ask, and
hang
don't be
on, though,
afraid
hang
to
on,
take
though.
the
There's
direction.
something else that, and I hate to say this because I know I'm going to get shit on for it, but this is reality. Another thing that allows us to do this and be very good in bed is being healthy. And being healthy indicates exercise, endurance. That's lasting power.
That doesn't mean shit. I can lay there all day.
You see what I mean? See? This is why he can't do it. This is why he's older and can't do it.
No, that's bullshit. Yeah, sure, endurance is fine, but
Eat your greens.
That's bullshit. That's
Keep eating
bullshit.
your Beyond
Is it?
Burgers.
I disagree because
And you'll be able to last
amazing.
longer.
It's
Hey, you
amazing.
Eat your
disagree.
Beyond
disagree.
Burgers, and you'll
No,
be
fuck that. It's
beyond her
amazing.
expectations.
It's amazing what in the moment your body will uphold. You might get tired when you go on a jog around the block or going up and down your stairs, but in the moment you be impressed at how much more stamina or endurance your body will put forth. So no, I think that's
What? What are you
sure.
talking about?
Everybody
What are you saying?
in the
What-
moment.
in the moment
I
of
don't.
orgasm?
I don't. Sex. Period.
Okay, throughout
that's
sex,
what
you're
you're
saying that it
referring
doesn't.
to.
You're right. You're right. So you're saying
Yeah, I
throughout
can
sex,
get
it
tired,
doesn't make
but
a
I'm
difference
definitely.
if you
I
have.
can definitely go longer than I could probably run laps for. I'm gonna get tired running laps more faster.
Stop. Okay, okay.
Here's the- but hold on,
You're
wait.
gonna
The
give
other
her-
question. Wait, hang on. Here's the other side of that. The question is, can a person who can run laps longer than you go longer than you?
Possibly. I don't know.
See what I mean? But that's my
Maybe.
whole point. This is why exercise is important. This is why being fit is important.
I disagree. I disagree with that.
It's
100%. I disagree with that 100%.
I mean, like, you don't have to agree with me. I live it. Like, and people who are older.
But you're
like,
one.
and I-
You're one person. That's just your experience, and that's your body. Everybody's
That's
body's
not just
different.
my experience.
Everybody's
You
body's
think that's
different.
just me?
No.
You think
I
that-
you think that's just
no.
me?
You think the tip of your dick is the same as some other healthy dude?
It's not
Your
about
tip
the
of the
tip
dick
of it.
is sensitive and-
It's about.
So what? If you come 10
endurance.
times,
It's
you're
about
just gonna
lasting
keep on fucking,
power.
keep on fucking.
It's
Come
about
on,
lasting
that's not
power.
true.
Absolutely.
That's not
I'm
true.
not.
No,
I'm
no,
definitely
no.
not. Listen, after
Straw
3
man,
bids,
straw
you
man,
better not
straw
ask me
man.
for more.
No, straw man.
I think that-
The ability to last and endure is not about coming multiple times. It's about
And
not
you know
not
what?
coming the
You
first
asked-
time.
I guarantee.
The first time. Yes.
That's what it's about.
7 out of 10 women are going to tell you they don't want a 5.5 hour fuck session.
Well, it's
I'll
not about having.
guarantee
Again,
that's- okay.
You're making a lot of like,
Okay.
random arguments that aren't being addressed here. Like,
And so are you. You're making a bunch
Okay,
of
no,
assumptions.
no.
assuming-
You're not.
Hold on.
Okay,
So
cool.
with-
All right, here. I'll put it this way. Let's hear you steel man what I'm saying.
I'm just saying, if we polled 10 women, probably more often than not.
I'm not proposing a 5-hour fuck session. What I'm asking is, can you steel man
Well-
what I'm actually saying? Like, can you actually, without any straw mans, without any assertions, what do you think I'm actually saying?
You're saying that someone who's healthier and in more fit, better shape is going to last longer than some fat schlub.
Essentially, well, not just last longer, although that's part of it, but that person is going to be able to essentially give more.
I disagree, and I disagree.
So I want to say
I
it's
beg to
also I
differ.
want to say it's okay. So let me add this here. I want to say it's factual that if you work out, your cum tastes better, you last longer, your dick gets harder. It's just what it is. That's just like proven science.
Yeah, I don't even know why that's an argument.
It does make your sex game better. However, I don't think we're going.
I don't think it's everything.
10-hour sessions
if that's
here.
what you mean? Yeah, I agree.
And I don't think. And I don't think that it's the end all be all in every situation that you go.
Agreed.
That when you sleep with a woman in bed, it's not going to happen that way every single time. However, if I'm with my lady and we are preparing for a full night session,
ooh, yes,
I want you to just off the rip, I'm going to eat that box and you're going to come 3 times. Off the rip. Then a fourth when I'm in you, bitch. Like that, it's off the rip. And then when I bust, you've already got 4 after me. I'm good.
4 after.
Let's go to sleep, Ma.
Every week golden. Let's
go to sleep, Ma.
That is kind of the idea. That's kind of the idea. Kinda.
Yeah.
I mean, my method
agree
is
with
a
that.
bit. My method is a
agree with
bit
that.
different, but I have sort of the same. Like,
but I'm
basic
saying for the
concepts.
average niggas, bro. I'm saying for the average niggas, for the mentality of the average niggas that are living in households and people are like, oh, you're not having sex 7, 8, 20 times a week? No. If you're being realistic and you talk about the 6, 7, 8 times that you have sex you have sex a week and you are putting in this work and you are doing your thing. Yeah, I'll say 5,
especially if you're living with the person. You're living full time.
There are people
with the
who
person.
love sex, yo.
Oh, adore it.
And are trying to have fucking sex 12 times a week, nothing less. That's the bare minimum, baby.
But again, we got to remember though, 25 to 30 are going to be doing that. That has a lot to do with
facts.
Those are the people who are like,
facts,
yo,
facts.
I want the Energizer Bunny guy who can just, keep going. He's like, he's never out of time, that guy. As you get older, that starts to take
Here's
off.
my problem. Let me tell you my problem with this situation. I think 3 to 4 times a week is probably
I fucking love Adam, man.
on point.
Adam's
on point. And let me tell you why. Because I think you guys are factoring too much. I don't know that you guys are taking the actual society into play. There's parts of me that sometimes think you guys maybe are coming from the blind community, and I don't know. And you guys can attack me in a second, but let me finish. I think individuals who are working 8 to 10 hours a day, you come home, maybe you've got a kid, maybe you got a couple kids, or maybe you're just you and your lady, maybe there's no kids, but you both are working. You come home, you're tired, you get up at 5:30 in the morning, you're out the door, you just worked. Yes, there are those people that will come home and just fuck until it's time to pass out.
Instead of turning on the TV and putting on DVR,
Thank you.
Put that ass up in the air for 30 minutes.
I'm trying to tell you.
Put that ass up in the That's all you are doing.
can't
You're sitting down on the couch watching TV before you go to
That
bed.
shit doesn't happen like that. That's what I'm saying, man.
Yo, come
That
on,
shit
my
doesn't
G.
happen like
Come
that.
on.
It
Look, too
doesn't
many
happen.
excuses made up for not having sex. That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
I agree, but
I believe
it's
both
reality.
Of you, both of you are right. You're not wrong. As you get older, yes, you do want to sit on your ass more and wear it off. But there's a couple factors to take in here. First off, what kind of job do you have? Like if you talk about coming home from a hard day's work. If you have a seriously laboring job, yes, bro, I can see,
could be,
on
and you're right. It could be different if you're just a dude sitting at a
saying?
desk all day.
But if you're just sitting at a desk all day, or maybe,
right.
dude, like maybe if you're like me, what if you're working out all day? If you're working out all day, you're essentially, and this is just my opinion right now anyway, maybe when I'm 38, that'll change. I know some 38-year-olds who agree with me, but it's kind of like sexual tension is building. Working out kind of makes me horny. So like I'm doing that shit all day. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about her.
If I have a dope sexual relationship with her, I want her to text me throughout the day.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Shit. Get this shit
I thought
going.
about you when I was
don't
doing
let
this.
that die down. That's the problem with relationships, man. They just let that shit die down, and then you make people like Adam make excuses for it. Like, oh yeah, baby, we have long days of work.
It's
Bro,
not
but
a matter of
listen,
making
I'm just saying,
excuses, bro.
I'm just saying, hold on. Let me lay it out though. You get home, right? I'm just saying, you get home. But that's why I agree with Adam. So yeah, the work plays a role in it. But here's the thing, bro. As soon as you get home,
your lifestyle.
You might sit down, you might put your feet up. But what's happening when you put your feet up? I tell you one thing, I'm not doing. The TV's not on. They're probably, some music might be on. We might turn an audiobook on. But as soon as my girl's next to me and my feet are up, we're kissing. We're touching.
But see, now
and
there
what do you
go.
think?
Yeah. You're living that blind lifestyle. Like I'm looking at the whole picture. I'm looking at the whole fucking picture. I'm taking everybody into consideration, whether you're blind or sighted. Like people sit down, you do watch TV. Maybe you turn on the news. Maybe you turn on something. I get it. You don't watch TV.
Oh, I want to catch up on my Walking Dead.
No, come
over here. Listen, you'll watch that tomorrow.
People enjoy that though. Couples enjoy that.
Stop
doing some of that shit together.
Watching the television and come have sex with me. Keep our relationship alive. That TV show is not going to keep our relationship alive.
No, it won't.
I'm telling you, it doesn't work like that. I'm telling you. You guys can think that.
I know. I believe you, Adam. Adam, I'm not calling you a liar.
Like that for you, yes.
10 to 15
yes, Adam, it does not work like that.
When you guys are 40, let's have this same conversation.
I understand.
Yes, we will have the same conversation.
I understand we're in the minority. I understand it. But what I'm trying to tell you.
That's what. Yeah, that's what you guys
young
want.
and spry.
It's not possible. It's not possible. Because this is what I've always said this, like, I want to be fucking in my 60s. And I'm not trying to do what I'm doing now.
And
but
there are people
I definitely want to make sure that I'm pleasuring
for sure.
That's my point. Don't let that die down because you have a job that you're like you're cleaning all day, you're doing shit all day, and you're working 8 to 10 hours a day. You're doing construction. Don't let that be.
I don't think it should die down. But there's going to be
your relationship
different expectations. The expectations have to be more realistic. Your expectations can't be 10 times a week. It's not going to be twice
but that's
a day.
not what it could. What if it's 5? What if it's 5 times a week?
I think as you get older, 5 times. Maybe if you're very sexually active, like it just depends. Like I said, I wasn't far off. I said 3 to 4. I said I think 3 to 4 is a solid number. So
can you
get more
off. What are some cited expectations that prevent you from having sex that often? Give me an idea.
Like I said, everybody's going to be different, but it just like your work schedule. Everybody's work schedule is slightly different. Okay. Maybe you get off work later than she does. Maybe she gets off later than you. There's just different expectations. If you got kids, then you got kids to worry about when you get home. Like, getting their homework done, getting them off to school, getting them off to bed in the morning, or off to school in the morning and bed at night. Like, there's just different. Everything has a different scenario. It's not always going to play out that it's just you and her.
But that's kind of why I think that same argument can be used against you. I think in your situation. It's different for you, so you don't have that much sex. I think tons of sighted people your age are having quite vigorous.
I have plenty of sex. I'm just keeping it real. The reality of it
and they're having just as much sex as we are.
It's not going to be as much as you guys think it's going to be
at
certain points in your life.
Maybe not at certain points. I mean, look, there are times in my life where I'm working quite more than average. Like I'm talking 8 in the morning to 8 at night. There are weeks where that happens, where that goes down, heavy duty contracts. Sometimes when I'm doing international circuits, there's no sex for months. Arguably, that would be one of these times. I haven't had sex since like the beginning of August, into July. But at the end of the day, I know when it's there, when it's available, we're doing it. And we're doing it thoroughly.
But time out, you didn't even leave for Australia till September. So what were you and your lady doing in July and August? Mr. Fuckfest?
What do you mean what were we doing in July and August?
You said you haven't fucked since July or August, but you didn't leave for Australia until September.
Exactly, since I left Ohio. I have not had sex since I left Ohio.
Okay.
And so since then, it's just kind of been lotion land.
Which is understandable. I mean, you're in Australia and you're working, whatever, like visiting your family. Like that's understandable.
Right.
You have... there's a reason for that.
But that's what I mean. So, I understand what you mean when you say that there are times in your life when you can't get it like that. I get it. But what I'm saying is when you can get it like that, there's no excuse that you shouldn't.
For sure.
And TV and other stuff like that does not prevent me from doing it. It's time with you.
I don't think it's the TV side of it is that like you guys are focused on that one thing. Like I don't think that's preventing people, but I think sometimes that's a mutual interest that people have And so when they're unwinding from work and they're putting their feet up, it's not so much a matter of they want to go in the bedroom and fuck for 2 hours.
But see, this is the thing. I think you're onto something with the. I think you're onto something with the sighted thing, and I'm also gonna throw. I hate to do this, but I'm also gonna. No, I'm not gonna do that. I think you're onto something with the sighted thing, though. I think
don't hold back. Don't
no,
hold
because
back.
I don't have a good foundation for it, so I'm not gonna toss it out there. I think the sighted people do look at things and they do watch things and they use their eyes in the same way that blind people use every other sense they have. One thing that blind people have is touch, and I love to touch.
For sure.
I love to use that sense. I love to engage in it, and TV and even my phone, YouTube and stuff does not come first for me. Even like with the stuff that me and my girl like to do often lead to sex, listening to an audiobook. We will listen to an audiobook, and before the first chapter's over, you know what we're doing. So like it's, and then after all that's out of the way, then I'll turn on YouTube.
You guys are so bored from listening to a book.
Shit on read. Real smooth. You grade A student. Yeah.
No, but yeah, I mean, I agree with some of the things you guys are saying, but at the same time, I have, my opinions. You guys have yours. I think it's going to be different for every scenario is going to be.
Yeah, and like I said,
every household is going to be different.
When I'm 40.
Yeah.
When I'm 40, we can definitely have this conversation again. And I can ask you about your endurance.
And again, I'm going to say too, like
endurance.
you are a different person. Like at 40, you might still be doing the same thing. But I'm going to say the average 40,
I'm going to have like 7
American,
more kids, bro.
The average American at 40 years old it's a little different. It's a little different than what we're talking about. If I'm saying the average. And you might be outside the majority, the average. So...
Well, you know what they also say? There's this thing that they say that black people, or people that have any sort of African or black in them, have like these high testosterone levels. So maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know. But
yes, we get it. You got the big dick. We appreciate it.
I'm making it pop.
This fucking guy. Hit us up if you want to comment on anything that we've been talking about. 442-244-9900 or toll free 844-997-0775 at CP Pod 100 across all social media platforms. Twitter's where it's at though. We're more active on Twitter than anything. Brando kind of holds it down for us on the Facebook side too, so you could hit us up on our Facebook page at CP Pod 100 on Facebook.
Yeah, and by the way, all you motherfucking promoters who can't speak English, stop trying to promote us. Stop hitting me up in my inbox.
No, keep promoting us. Keep promoting us.
No, but what they're not. Yeah, but if you're not gonna just promote us, then don't hit me up in my inbox asking me what was it? Need thousands of NAF fans, whatever the fuck you're trying to write. Like, stop doing that, bro. Like, I can't get with that program.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to just share our shit, share it, please. I'd love some Bangladeshi fans,
Yeah, big facts.
Stop doing, hit me up. Shit.
Brando,
you are racist.
No, that's just speaking the facts. That's what it comes down to all the time. So, yeah. So when are you coming back to the States? I know you said that at the beginning, but I was reposting this shit. When are you coming back to the States?
So when I come, January, early January.
Okay. And it's like summertime right there in Australia now, right?
Oh yeah,
because they flip flop with us.
Like right now, it is hot as fuck. It is hot as shit right now.
I'm good. I don't need all that.
Did the YouTube stream drop?
Hey, wait! I was going to talk about this because we were talking about sex and everything else. That article that came out.
Well, wait, he's coming and leaving. Is the YouTube stream up right now? Are we live still?
No, the YouTube stream is up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
my microphone wasn't working, so I was making sure that I was in here to keep the stream alive. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we were talking about the sex stuff, and there was the article that I had posted to you guys that smoking marijuana increases your orgasm. What do you guys think about that?
You remember when I wrote in the message group in the poor chat I was like, that's
Something
only
about that's
news.
only people that don't smoke.
Yeah, that's
or
only
something,
news
or-
to people who don't smoke.
I was
weed.
gonna say, and 6 to 8 hours of sleep on average is how much you need to fucking sleep to live a healthy fucking life. I mean,
It's
listen
like,
to
of
me.
course it makes
If you
sense,
drink
man.
and
Of
get
course it
behind a
increases the
wheel-
strength of an orgasm.
You could possibly kill somebody. I'm just
Okay,
list
but
any
why are you
obvious-
saying of course? Why is this obvious?
I mean,
explain
have
it?
you ever had
Because
sex
have you ever smoked and had sex?
on
Yeah,
pot,
but I don't know
like
that I
stoned
fully
as shit?
noticed it and that it increased anything.
But you don't know.
I don't know.
You don't
amongst
know
weed
if
smokers,
that
it's kind of
orgasm
like a-
felt better. Did that orgasm like?
I mean, it always feels pretty
Feel-
fucking good to me.
No, I mean, amongst weed smokers, it seems to be consensus that weed improves sex, orgasms, the whole nine. Again, amongst weed smokers, that's why I say like. People
So
who
why
just are now smoking
why do you
weed-
think that is? Why do you think that is? Just because your nerve endings are more alert, aware? You're like a little.
Yeah, well, you're more sensitive to everything.
It's
You're more
it's
sensitive
like
to everything in general.
it's like why people they figure out why you have the munchies, right? Your mouth dries out, right? You smoke pot, your mouth dries out. You eat something, and there goes your fucking saliva glands, fucking just going at it again,
Yeah.
producing shit. Right? So it has an effect on almost every part of our body, especially because it's medicinal, right? It's reacting.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's something there. I don't know what it is. I don't know what makes it better, but it just does. And have you ever had sex on coke?
Negative.
Oh shit! Oh my lord! Listen,
It's awesome. It's awesome.
I don't think I should ever have sex on coke again, honestly. But yeah, that
It's
shit
awesome.
was otherworldly.
Dude, it's something else.
My girl Miscellaneous described
you
having
what.
sex on acid as a very digital experience. I agree with her.
As a very what?
Digital experience.
Digital experience.
I agree.
What
with
do you
her.
mean? You agree? What do you mean? So
The
explain
way-
then. I'm
so
not sure what I'm
so I
following.
feel like digital. I feel like what she means is like it's very much in your head. The orgasm is like you know your body's having it, but you're in your head. It's like it's almost like you're seeing the orgasm that you're feeling. And it's
Okay.
a very mental fucking.
Well, that's the
thing. And it
hallucinogenic
goes
side
up
then,
and down.
probably, right?
Exactly. I think that's kind of what I translated digital to mean. It goes up and down your fucking spine. It's like it's like that it's like that spot in the Matrix where Neo started touching the glass, you know.
So I'm just trying to read through this article a little bit here. So this was an actual study done by the the Journal of Sexual Medicine. I'm guessing that's a thing. I'm pretty sure there's probably a Journal of Medicine for everything.
I do want to say this: the House did pass the bill to end federal prohibition.
Okay. And the Senate
So-
has to
The Senate has to obviously
agree, essentially.
agree on it.
So
But-
federal
but
prohibition
this is
meaning
good news
across the nation.
Yeah, nationwide.
across the nation.
Because
So
now the
pretty much,
feds are
like,
on
we
board
can
with it.
now. Yeah, exactly. So like, no one, if we get an ounce of weed in the mail, they can no longer be like, "Yo, you got some weed? We're taking it."
What's
But
popping?
states
What's
can
popping?
still-
What's popping, big
states-
homie?
States can still decide to not have dispensaries in their state, though, right? Just because it's on the federal level, states can still say,
yeah, I
"Well,
mean,
we're not going to
essentially,
put
states-
dispensaries in our state."
States' rights are still a thing. It's just this just means that if you travel across state lines, you're not going to get in trouble for it, because that was kind of the thing. Like traveling across state lines, you typically would get in trouble. That's a federal offense. Even if you went from California to Colorado, which are two legal
Colorado,
states, that's
yeah.
still a federal offense. But with this new thing,
Yep.
it wouldn't be.
I'd be able to fly with pot in my suitcase. Woo!
Dude, pot in your carry-on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. No more stashing it in the battery compartments of alarm
You don't
clocks
think
that
there's
I'm not
still
actually
going to
using.
be some
Right?
regulations
no
on that,
more
though?
rolling it up in socks.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. I hate
Not
that.
anymore. That fuck all that fucking
You
ridiculous.
don't think there's going to be some regulations on that still, though? Like flying
There's
with
going to
it,
be
stuff like
regulations
that?
in places where people like
There's
Jeff
gonna be
Sessions are in
regulations.
power.
Yeah. Louisiana, which by the way just got a
Alabama.
Democratic governor. This is amazing. Did you see this? I
heard
was
about
like, man, the Never Trumpers are kind of backing up.
I don't think I sent it to you guys. Maybe I did. You guys see the spoof Trump toilet brush?
I think you sent this. Hold on.
It's a toilet brush with
Trump's.
Trump's head, and it's got like his little blue suit and like tie on the top of it, so you can like scrub your toilet brush with like Trump's head.
That's wild as shit.
Yeah,
Dude, the world became a huge meme with this motherfucker becoming our president. We had my former
world
friend had
became a
bought Trump and Pence poop bags. So it was the dog poop bags with their faces on it. So when you would turn it inside out, you just pick up dog shit and they're fucking on their faces.
thanks for the sound effects, Brando. Appreciate that.
Sorry.
Bring that-
Just in case you
bring
didn't know
that
what shouldn't
second
sound
D
like.
to-
You know what I mean? We don't got a button. We don't got a button.
We don't
need
got
it.
a button.
Well, and
We
then
got a
did you guys
soundboard,
see
so.
the debate with Cory Booker? Cory Booker said about, oh shit.
Yeah, because
I'm drawing a blank
Biden's
on what he said.
boomer ass wanted to fucking sit here and tell everybody that marijuana is a gateway drug in 2019. You could suck my dick, Joe Biden. Are you fucking serious? That's the That's the one.
But yeah, but he said, but
That's
he
the
said
one you're
something
going with?
about marijuana was for like privileged people or whatever. Like marijuana was only.
Oh yeah, no.
okay for, like,
Booker
privileged
said
people or
marijuana is already legal for privileged people.
Yeah, which
Is
you
what
think
he
about
said.
it, it's very true. It's very true. I mean, think of the
What
people
does privilege
that,
mean in this in this?
white people. I think that's what he's trying to say. White people. Think of the number of people that are still in prison because of drug charges. Or
So
got
why the
put in
fuck
jail
are we
because
not
of
getting
drug-
Cory Booker the fuck out of here?
Yeah. Out or in?
Out of here.
Linchpin.
That's some racist ass shit he's pretty much alluding to.
Quick question.
Basically.
Can you repeat? Quick question. Can you
And
repeat
nobody's
what
gonna
he
sit
did?
here.
Wait. Can you repeat what he said?
He
exactly?
said
Here, I'll try and find the clip here.
privileged people already have access to marijuana.
Privileged people already have access to marijuana.
It was something
So
along
he's saying,
those
so
lines.
he's saying like people who have money already have access to it, and so therefore it should
already have access to it. Therefore, I guess
Here.
maybe
Let's
that's
see if
the
this
angle.
works.
These guys are talented killers.
God
Ooh, I want to see
damn.
this movie. They're shooting. What's this movie?
God
Oh,
damn.
oh yes. I was like, there's guns going on. This is good
Yay.
shit.
Kill them.
21 Bridges. Fucking ads.
Oh, okay. All right. 21 Bridges.
I need to log into the.
That's why they advertise, though. You know, if they know they're going to get sentenced.
this issue of black voters.
That's exactly what
I
happened.
have a lifetime of experience with black voters. I've been one since I was 18.
This is
No one
Corey.
on the stage should need a focus group to hear from African American voters. Black voters are pissed off, and they're worried. They're pissed off because the only time our issues seem to be really paid attention to by politicians is when people are looking for their vote. And they're worried because the Democratic Party, we don't want to see people miss this opportunity and lose because we are nominating someone that isn't trusted, doesn't have authentic connection. And so that's what's on the ballot, and issues do matter. I have a lot of respect for the vice president. He has sworn me into my office as a hero. This week, I hear him literally say that I don't think we should legalize marijuana. I thought you might have been high when you said it. and let me tell you, because Marijuana in our country is already legal for privileged people. And the war on drugs has been a war on black and brown people.
I agree with him, though.
Okay. All right. I agree with him. I didn't know what the angle was. I didn't know what the angle was.
Yeah, now that makes perfect sense. Yeah, he's totally right about that.
Look at him trying to toe the Bernie Sanders line. Identity politics, motherfucker. Oh, I fucking hate Cory Booker, man.
It should play the Biden response. Do you want to hear the Biden response?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me hear this.
Supervision in America, then all the slaves since 1850 do not roll up into communities and not talk directly to issues that are going to relate to the liberation of children, because there are people in Congress right now that admit to smoking marijuana, while there are people, our kids are in jail right now for those drug crimes. And so these are the kind of issues that mean a lot to our community, and if we don't have somebody authentically, we lost the last election. Let me just give you this data example. We lost in Wisconsin because of a massive diminution. A lot of reasons.
Shut up,
come on. Massive diminution in the African American vote. We need to have someone that can inspire, as Kamala said, to inspire African Americans to the polls at record numbers.
Thank you, Senator Booker.
He's the last person I want talking.
I'll be very brief. Number one, I think we should decriminalize marijuana, period. And I think anyone who has a record should be let out of jail. Their record's expunged. It be completely zeroed out. But I do think,
interesting,
based on data, that we should study what the long-term effects are for the use of marijuana. That's all it is. Number one, everybody gets out. Record expunged. Secondly, I'm part of that Obama coalition. I come out of the black community in terms of my support. If you notice, I have more people supporting me in the black community that have announced for me because they know me. They know who I am. 3 former chairs of the Black Caucus. The only African-American woman that has been elected to the United States Senate. A whole range of people.
Turn it off.
That's not true. The other one is here.
Turn it off.
Booker said that's not true.
Turn it off. That shit is crazy, bro.
That's not true.
Fucking Biden pisses me off so much.
To be vice president was my relationship, long-standing relationship with the black community. I was part of that coalition.
Not a problem.
Oh, you fucking ass. He's such a fucking liar. And this whole look what I did when I was with Obama.
Well, that's part of
Daddy
of course
Obama.
he's gonna do that. That's to be expected. That's part of the reason he's even.
Everybody knows Obama, especially with him now trying to get the really left, the far left to shut the fuck up, the Bernie Sanders types to shut the fuck up, because he still panders to the elites. Shut the fuck up, Obama. We don't want to hear from you. Make you $500,000 to fucking tell people, oh yeah, just. Don't try to be so woke.
I don't know. I feel like leftists are all a different shade of whatever color you want to blue, I guess. A lot of them are saying the same shit with slightly different angles. It's not really that impressive. You don't have to. It's kind of like when I hear people talk, well, I'm an atheist, so that doesn't. No, look, it doesn't take much to realize that you don't have to be a genius to know that legalizing marijuana, decriminalizing marijuana is the right way to go. You don't have to be a genius to realize that the war on drugs has been equated to and can easily.
So why does nobody on the right run?
People. Because that's not true. There are people. Well, here's the thing: there are people on the right who realize this, but because they are on the right, they're not going to admit it. And the people that will admit it on the right, they're not going to run. I was a big fan of Rand Paul. Rand Paul was a person who would love to say, let's really get this marijuana shit is bullshit. Dude, what the fuck are you guys doing? You know what I mean? Like, this is bullshit. He was very.
They try to fucking fuck his whole image up, man.
They tried to cop a squad on him.
Wow, they shat on him like a savage because he said,
bro.
Don't take away from our pharmaceutical money, motherfucker. Are you serious? You're for us,
bro. Man, I'm telling you. So that's the thing, dude. But
wow,
at the end of the day, I feel like I always feel like this when it comes to presidents. Presidents, whoever gets in the office, they're gonna do. They always do some good and some bad, no matter what happens, bro. Like no matter who gets in the office, they're gonna fuck up, and they're always gonna do some really fucked up shit. So, and sometimes they do some really good shit, some really helpful shit. But they're just people, and all of this hoopla, bro, I don't know, man. I'm just not impressed by presidential candidacies and shit. Some bullshit, bro.
Speaking of doing fucked up shit,
it's a lot of theater.
Dan, you had a story for us at the beginning of the show about a prank.
Well, yeah.
You want to share that?
We were talking yesterday. We were talking about, actually, I want to ask Brando, since he's here, and we'll end on this today. Flying out pussy. Did you ever have pussy flown out to you?
Yes.
And Adam was talking shit about this shit yesterday, so I wanted to see what you had for the stream today. He's never paid for pussy to come out to see him.
But pussy's definitely flown to see me.
But pussy's been like, they pay their own way to see you.
I've had that too, though. I mean, I've had both situations happen. It's not
and I've had both.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you're somehow morally more virtuous because I don't know. Like, what's the angle? Help me out.
To bring money out, to bring pussy out here. I mean, I wouldn't now, obviously, because I have a lady. But back in the day, no way. Never.
Yeah, but you would have never. He's saying he would have never put out money.
No.
And this is how this conversation started. He would have never put out money to fly a girl to come to see him, or
nope.
Would you fly to go see her? To give her that dick?
Maybe.
What's the difference?
Maybe.
Yeah, so what's the difference? Are you not a sucker because you're the one who's going to supply?
I would only be going if I knew that it was going to actually be like a relationship. So let me preference this, or let me ask this to get a better idea then. If you're flying pussy to come see you, what's this relationship? Are you guys like chilling, like this could go somewhere, but you're just not moving in with each other because she's out there, you're out here? Like, are we into this relationship a few months, 4, 5, 6 months now? Or is this just like, y'all
like
been talking online and you want to
You don't do online relationships though, right?
So
you said you would never do an online relationship. So this
really.
would defeat the purpose to even have this conversation with you.
I'm just trying to get the general idea.
No, let me answer the question. Yeah, the answer is, yeah, okay. In the situations that are relevant to the question, I've known the girl. I got 2 or 3 that come to mind. I've known them for about 4 or 5 months. One I knew about 3 or 4 years, but we didn't start talking until like the last, and then we talked for about 6 months, and then like, what, the tickets are, let's do this, let's do that, whatever. Here's the thing though, if I meet a girl in 1 week, and then the next week we decide that we want to hook up and fuck. If I'm gonna start looking at prices. It becomes a money thing. If there are some tickets, and there are tickets like this, Chicago to Oakland is a prime example. If the ticket's only $60, I usually take Uber.
Yeah.
Why the fuck wouldn't I give her a $60 trip to come fuck?
Right?
Smash. We have some dinner, and I shoot you back for $60. Like, that's not a fucking problem. I don't know. Now, if we're just talking, I've known you for about a week, and it's about $800. Well, no, I'm gonna have to get to know you better. Like, it's gonna have to be worth something.
Okay, no. If we're paying $500 fucking $700 plane
yeah.
tickets,
When it goes up to apartment,
now the
rental
conversation
type money,
starts.
Yeah, are you
changing? But if I could find a ticket, if I was, let's say, I never banged a girl in Florida or North Carolina, but if I was like flying from Jersey to Florida, Jersey to North Carolina,
they got some cheap ass tickets.
You know how cheap a ticket is to go to one of those fucking states? That ain't shit. Just come and get this dick real quick for fucking $90.
And here's the thing.
That's it.
I like you guys know me. I like to travel. To me, just being in an airport is an exciting experience. I can just sit. I meet new people. Potentially, I'm meeting new students. I might meet a new person who knows some shit that I could learn from them. Certification experiences pop up. Like, I've learned so much shit and have gotten so much shit just from sitting on airplanes next to people I didn't know originally. So I'm not opposed to going out and traveling and doing some shit. I'm that guy. But flying her in, I mean, it's just going to depend. How long have I known her and how much are the tickets, I guess. It's kind of a cost-benefit analysis.
I got to be into this woman. This has to be a relationship status woman. This has to be, we're going to be trying to take this to the next level. This is going to be, we're really into each other. Like, I might do it under those circumstances, but if I just feel like this is just a side piece, this is just a girl I'm having fun with, nah, pay your way, bitch. Pay your way.
But 9 times out of 10, if I'm gonna fuck around with a side chick, or if I'm gonna get some local pussy, I think most of the time I'm gonna probably try to do some local pussy. And you're only gonna be about a cab fare away. You're gonna be about an Uber away.
Exactly.
I'll book your Uber. Bitch.
I'm going to do.
But I don't know.
I'm going to do whatever gets in my.
And
my
I'm gonna
life's
drop that
road.
promo.
If local pussy's around, then local pussy's awesome. If I'm flying it in, then I'm flying it in. I mean, I've done it.
But I'm not opposed to flying it in. But
I'm not, bro. I just don't care. I don't care. I mean, it's whatever.
Bored. I was really fucking bored. I was young and I wanted to play a prank. I wanted to see if the shit would work. And I don't know you guys. It's not fucking. It's fucking ridiculous. But I wanted to. But I sent my girl a fake ticket.
Oh jeez.
I wanted to see fake excitement.
Wow.
This is how I know something's up, y'all. Something's up. But yeah, I sent her a fake ticket. The excitement was there, and like I was like, oh shit, I didn't think about having to break it to her that it was a fake ticket
until she was at the airport the day she was supposed to leave.
Until she's like, no. You didn't let it go until it was a little bit of time, but we had she was really upset when she found out that it was a fake ticket. Why would she be, right?
That's just messed up.
And so I had to buy her an actual ticket to make up for.
No, fuck that.
I was not supposed to see her.
So then you actually went and bought her because you made her feel
I bought her a
bad?
ticket. Because she was upset, and I felt like a dick. I did feel like a dick. Like, that's the thing. People don't think I feel.
That you were probably really digging this chick then. Like, the vibes were good.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
I can let that slide a little bit. But if this was just
1,000%,
a chick that you just
no, I was with her for 2 years. She was like
chilling.
one of my longest relationships.
Okay, then I can understand that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a little different, but. Man,
for sure, but yeah,
y'all are just vibing, cooling, and you're like, yeah, come on.
Couple months in, and I just fuck around. Hey, JK, here's a ticket.
I ain't buying you a ticket to make up for it though. Sorry. Feel free to pay your way.
I felt like a
we'll
dick.
Have a good time.
I felt like a dick.
I am a dick, so that's okay.
You got to pay sometimes.
You know what you're getting into.
See, that's how I know I have somewhat of a heart. Somewhat of a heart somewhere over this motherfucker over here, man.
My heart turned black a long time ago. It's all good. I don't care.
Oh, trust me, I know.
It's all good.
I'm pretty jaded. This is before I was broken by women.
I just wanted to end on this because we're
when I
sharing
was really
stories real
lovey-dovey.
quick. And we were talking about weed and stuff. Do you guys have any funny weed stories?
Man,
of course we do.
I'm trying to think. I mean,
feel free to share.
I don't.
Does it
like,
have to be
see,
a specific
I'll
sort
tell
of
you
story
what.
though? Like,
no, I'm just saying.
It's hard to really think about it. It's hard to really think
on
about
this one then too. I just wanted to share this. I meant to share when we were talking about weed, but back in high school, I was like 17, 18. It was probably my junior, senior year. I don't remember exactly, but went over to the homie's house after school like we always did, and we were smoking a lot. Is what we always did. And he had these 2 little ass dogs. Like, I don't know, little Scotties or something. Just little bitchy yappy dogs. He had this big ass cooler. And back then, I would guess I was a bit of an asshole. Like I said, I'm a dick. So I would get my dog high all the time. And I had a big dog. I had a big, big dog. So We took his 2 little dogs and we put them inside of this big ass cooler, this big ass like Coleman cooler. Popped the lid on it, and you know, like on a cooler, it's got the little plug on the bottom on the side. We unplugged that and we started hitting the bong and just blowing all the smoke straight up the tube, the drain on the side, and we filled that cooler up. We hotboxed the shit out of that cooler and put the lid on, put the plug back on, and we popped the lid off after like 5 minutes, and those dogs were just sitting, just stuck. They were just sitting there, and we were like, good times. And just this cloud of smoke came out of the cooler. We took them out, and they were just walking around so slow, and they immediately both went and got a drink of water first. I was like, yeah, you got that dry mouth. Go get that water. It was good times.
Yeah, we were talking about getting dogs high stories. Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. They love it. They love it.
Some of them do.
The smell of pot.
My buddy's dog
is just like one of their
he cracked his
favorite
jar,
things.
His dog would come running, man. His dog knew the sound of the jar. He knew the lid. He knew everything. And he'd be right in my buddy's lap, right snout just in the jar, like whatever that is, you know.
Tiva, every time Sam and I used to come home from the dispensary, not once did Tiva not run up to us.
Yeah, she
trying
knew.
to sniff the bag, sniff the hand. She's like, dog, what's poppin', bro? Like, what did you get for me today?
Let's sit. Let's get Mr. Smokes a lot. Let's get this. Come on. Let's make it happen.
Speaking of goodies, that's the name of my porn folder. What's the name of your porn folder on your computer?
Well,
you want to know the name
of
my porn folder?
Because I just go to the websites.
Check it out. I'm going to tell you. Dan, look, it's crazy, bro. You guys are going to die. The name of my porn folder is screenshots.
Oh, screenshots. I get it.
Yeah, the name of my folder is screenshots.
I get it. It took me a little slow. It took me a minute to walk up the stairs, but I got there.
Come on.
Get it?
Screenshots, brother.
You know, I just found out about this shit the other day, too, that there are people posting anonymous audio of them playing with themselves or asking for scripts for couples to play out on Reddit.
Oh, my God.
It's called Gone Wild Audio is the subreddit.
Yo, did you guys ever check out the Porn for the Blind? Back in the day, there was a website, Porn for the Blind.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Oh my God, that was the funniest thing I ever saw. So funny.
I'll never forget the fucking this girl sounded like she was probably 17 to 19, and she was describing this fucking clip of a chick playing with herself with a Barbie. She was fucking herself with a Barbie, but it really messed me up when she said, the blonde bimbo sticks Barbie's legs into her vagina and moves Barbie around vigorously. And I was like, wait, how am I supposed to jerk off to this type of
that was my favorite thing. That was my favorite thing out of everything. And we'll wrap it up with this. That what it was a website that, and the funniest thing is it was a .org. It was a nonprofit. This lady registered it as a nonprofit because it was porn for the blind. But it would be just random ass people that could log on and just pick clips and describe
submit a clip.
So you could go through, and I remember the first time someone told me about it, I went to the site to check it out, and I clicked on this one. And it's like 4 or 5 frat guys drunk off their ass. Oh, he just put it in her ass. He just put it in her ass. Oh, no, shit, now he's playing. Oh, shit, she just pinched his dick balls. She just pinched his dick balls. Like, it was the funniest thing ever because they were so hyped They were like drunk and stoned and just getting all into it and excited. And I started laughing so hard. It was the funniest thing I ever saw. Hey, 442-244-9900. If you want to comment on anything we've talked about, those lines are open all the time. Toll free, 844-997-0775. If we're not live, you can leave a voicemail and comment on something that you talked about. Let us know what you want us to talk about. Share your stories. Share your stories about getting high, or whether you want to burn or drown or whatever.
Getting your pets high.
Let us know what's up. Yeah. Share your stories with us. We want to hear what you got.
Do you tell us how many times you're making your girls come?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
During a sex session.
If you're a dinosaur like myself, inbox at comfortablypoor.com. You can also shoot us any stories or anything there. Inbox at comfortablypoor.com. And CP Pod 100 across all platforms. Hit us up there. We appreciate y'all.